Hey guys, Randy X here. I was talking to Chevy, Crossbow Warriors. He asked me to do a video maybe explaining how to spine index and what spine indexing and matching arrows is. I've been doing it a while. Learned a lot from George at Fire Knock, Jerry at South Shore Archery, Dave at Camex Crossbows. A lot of people are doing this. You can learn to do it at home, do it for yourself. If not, you can get some dealers to do it for you. So what I did, I made my own. Actually, I used to do it with a similar setup with vertical arrows years ago. The vertical setup is a 28-inch arrow with a 1.94 pound weight. I use a heavier weight on mine, and I'm doing raw shafts as I get them, 20, 22, whatever. So I needed more weight. I wasn't satisfied that a 1.94 was heavy enough. So I ended up with a 2.825. I tried a couple different sizes, and that's what seemed to be best for me. My setup is here. Okay. So I'm a welder, so this is what I made. You've simply got bearings on either side, dial indicator in the center, and once you put your weight on there, you can measure the deflection of the arrow and find your stiff and weak planes. And that's what you hear. People say stiff side or weak side. It's the same thing. It's the stiff or weak plane. All right, and those planes go straight through the arrow. The stiff plane will be straight through. I've drawn a diagram here to kind of explain it. Make sure you can see it. Alright, so this is your arrow. What we do, we find the stiff plane and we fletch it between the hen vanes. So we mark it. I use a silver Sharpie to mark the stiff side, and I put it on top between the hen vanes. Alright, and that puts my stiff plane running vertically through the arrow, and what that allows is for 90 degrees out will be my neutral plane. So generally it's going to flex on this neutral plane, weakest point, when it's fired, and dynamic spine takes over. Okay. This works out real well. It just helps you make your arrows more consistently from arrow to arrow when you shoot. You may occasionally still have an arrow that when it was on the mandrel, got for whatever reason or another is not perfect. So this isn't bulletproof. Once you do it, you're done, but usually it is. For the guys that don't have a way to index, the poor man's way to do it is to simply rotate the nock, making the other vane that was a cock vane before, make it a hen vane, and that will rotate and give you a chance to possibly have a flyer join the group without having to spine index, which is what you're actually doing. You're matching the spine index with with the other shafts. So you get a group of 6. 4 of them shoot very well, 1 of them shoots okay, and the other one shoots high and left 1.5 inches. Sometimes you can turn the nock and make a different vane, the cock vane, and have it join the group. So this is what we're explaining, what we're doing here. I'll go over spine matching in just a second. So let's look at some. I've just got 6 new shafts in, and I've still got to fletch them up. So what happens is when I get them, of course, the first thing I'm going to do is square the ends. I try to get them in 22-inch and cut them down to 20, but I will spine index before I cut them down. Just may help a little bit more. Okay, I've already done these, which will work out great because I'll show you what we do. Alright, I center it. I will check let's zoom in here. See how close we can zoom into this. Let's put you over here. Let's see if we can't zoom into the. It may not focus on that. Let's see if it's going to do it. Okay, hopefully that's enough to see. Okay, so what I'll do first, I'll put it on here and I'll check for run out. These are 01 executioners, which means they're plus or minus 1/1000th in straightness. So if it moves 2/1000ths, you know, on your indicator, you're in spec. All right, as this one is. That's pretty dang good right there. So, okay. Then I'll put my weight on. As you can see, as I'm adding weight, the arrow is going to deflect or bend down under the pressure of the weight. And as it pulls down, the gauge is going to go counterclockwise. Right? When it's not pulling down as much, it'll go clockwise. That's how you tell where your stiff side is. So I rotate it. As I rotate, you see the needle going back counterclockwise. As I keep rolling it, it comes back forward clockwise. Rotate it, goes back. Rotate again. Okay, so I'm going to say that's about my stiffest point right there. And as you can see, I had indexed it. See the silver dot on top? Not sure if you can see it or not. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there's my index mark. That'll be my stiff side. Okay, so with that said, that is my stiff plane running through the shaft of the arrow vertically, top to bottom. I will fletch that dot between my hen vanes. So if we'll rotate that arrow and find the weak plane, as you roll it around, okay, that's about your weakest point. And if you'll notice, that puts, I gotta find it. That puts the mark a quarter rotation or 90 degrees from vertical where it was in its index position. So that tells you that is your weak side or weak plane. Alright, so with that said, let's talk about spine matching. That's indexing. Indexing is finding the stiff plane and identifying it, marking it, fletching it straight up and down with your weak side 90 degrees out. Okay, that's finding the stiff plane or indexing. Okay, the other thing we do is I find the weak side to do my match with, my spine matching, and that is the amount of deflection the arrow has at rest from one shaft to another. Okay. These numbers on my gauge don't matter. They're just for me. They're not the 200 or 250 or 300 spine indexing. That has to be done with the, like I said earlier, the 28-inch arrow. What I do, I'm just finding numbers to compare from one arrow to another to stay consistent. Okay, so what I do is I find my stiff side, okay, I will go to my weak side. I go to my weak side. See if I can get you in here. I go to my weak side. Let's see better. There you go. I go to my weak side. As we talked about, that makes the arrow turn 90 degrees, and the stiff side is 90 degrees out. Now my weak side is up, and I've got this arrow marked at 87.5. Okay, at 87.5, I will then do every arrow that way, finding the number for the weak side. And what that does, that gives me something to compare to from arrow to arrow on how much deflection each arrow has. Spine matching. I'm matching the spine. Okay. And as you can see here, maybe you can see here. Okay, I marked this one at 87.5. One under it is 84. All right. Let's just go through them one at a time. How about that? So I've got an 87, an 84, an 87, an 84, an 82, a 91, an 86, and an 86. So to me, you know, the 86, 84, 87, all right, I've got a high and a low, an 82, and I had a 91 that read kind of goofy, and I marked it kind of special with 2 dots there so I can pay it a little bit of attention if I have to. So the other ones, executioners come guaranteed within 10,000ths on spine index, which means, like say, if I had the lowest one was 82, all right, the highest one is 91, that's 9, I'm going to inspect. A few people will index them for you. The more you pay, the lower you can get them to match. I think Jerry does them down to 2,500. Okay. So right off the bat, I'm not going to be too concerned with any of these other than maybe this 91, because I had a kind of a weird reading on it. Again, that's when I go back to saying that, you know, it's not foolproof. This is about what we have to do it with the best we can. There are a few people that are doing, you know, a little more advanced stuff. I think Fireknock, Dorge at Fireknock is working on something pretty unique. Jerry at South Shore, he has been working with flow matching, and I think it's pretty good. Does some laser stuff. I think it's still in the works, but he does a great job with a ram tester. Like I say, he can get them down to 2.5. It's a little bit of an extra cost, but you know, if you buy a dozen arrows and 8 of them shoot okay and 4 of them don't, then there's your savings. So that's what we do, and seems to work fairly well. Most people that are enthusiasts are you know, able to do this at home with a spine tester, and that's pretty much the gist of it. Like I say, you want your stiff plane straight up and down, your weak side 90 degrees out from that. That's about all I can think of. If you have any questions, look me up on Crossbow Warriors on Facebook. Have a good day. Hope you enjoyed it, and if I can help, let me know. Thank you.